We live in a world that's becoming more and more technologically complex, interdependent, and culturally diverse. And only by building better relationships that we will be able to achieve greater things. Hi, the Lonely Buccaneer here. In this video, we're discussing our culture of do and tell, 4 types of inquiries, and a simple trick to improve communication. Ideas inspired by the book Humble Inquiry by Edgar H. Schein. The culture of do and tell. As much as we claim to value teamwork, our society is based on ranks, roles, status, and even when we think about our promotional and reward system, it is entirely individualistic. American culture put a lot more emphasis on task performance, interpersonal competitiveness, and telling rather than asking, as asking is seen as admitting incompetence and ignorance, when telling is seen as a virtue. Our role, rank, status, and culture predispose us to think that we know what the appropriate way is, and this exposes us to miscommunication, which stands in the way of building good relationship. And only by practicing humble inquiries that we will build trust, open up communication, and learn to work together more effectively. From the author's standpoint, humble inquiry is a fine art of drawing someone out, of asking questions to which we do not already know the answer, of building a relationship based on curiosity and interest in the other person. Types of inquiry. Building a relationship requires less telling, more asking, and get better at listening. In order to ask more, the author distinguished 4 types of inquiry. The first one is humble inquiry. It's also the best way to satisfy our curiosity and interest in other people, and learn about their way of thinking. I feel that if I do it genuinely, I will naturally have a body language, a tone of voice, and the timing that will show the other person that I am interested in what they have to say. Often, simply by asking someone, "What are you working on? Can you give me an example? How are things going?" you can start a discussion the least biased and threatening way. As the conversation gets more specific, I tend to do more diagnostic inquiry. It happens when we get curious about a particular subject, and we steer the conversation towards it, because we want to know more about the other person's point of view. To do that, you can ask questions like, "How do you feel about that? What do you think about this? And what have you tried so far?" And if ever, the conversation gets more personal, we can use process-oriented inquiries to focus on the relationship itself, and it helps both parties assess if their goals are met. I personally really like this one, since it's a powerful way to get out of awkward and difficult situations. But it's also the hardest to learn since our culture is not used to questions like, "Are we okay? Did I just offend you? What do you think is happening between us right now?" On the other hand, we're used to see confrontational inquiry, especially in movies or TV shows. It consists of taking our own ideas and turn them into rhetorical or leading questions, which are in fact a form of telling, and using them to try to convince the other person that we're right, by asking questions like, "Did that not make you angry? Why didn't you say something? Have you thought of going on a diet?" This form of questioning arouses resistance and put the other persons on the defensive. Trick to improve communication. I haven't always been a person good at communication. I have often misread and misjudged certain situations or taken sentence out of context. But by becoming more aware that my mind is capable of producing bias, perceptual distortion, and inappropriate impulse, I become more effective at doing humble inquiry, and I improve my communication skills. Making humble inquiry is to intentionally open up to people from the start and focus our attention on getting to know their deepest motivation. To do that, we must let go our judgment and must not take feelings for granted. I used to take things people say a little too personal, and adopting a little humility and not rush directly to judgment have prevented me a lot of impulsive reaction. Let's recap. Most of us live in a world of do and tell, which only focus on accomplished task after task without feeling the need to build sustainable relationship, and that makes us no better than a machine. By using more humble inquiry and being aware of our personal bias, we will be able to build stronger friendship. The verdict: It's a great book, but I wish there would be more practical tips or a little more everyday example. But the core idea are very helpful, so for more insight, check out the book. As always, if you liked the video, please subscribe, share, and like. And I hope I brought you one step closer to your brighter self.